See, like, okay, every time I've got my meds in me right now, so I feel like, I don't know, I feel like when I take my ADHD meds, I feel like when I take my ADHD meds, like, they make me just, I feel like when I take my ADHD meds, they make me, like, that little bit more sane. But, like, when you're sane, when you feel sane, you also feel embarrassed. I think that, like, sorry, can I just look at my arms for a second? Anyway, I think talking about being sane on camera and then anyway, no, I feel like I'm a bit more sane when I take my ADHD meds. And so because of that, it's like because I feel embarrassed. It's like, well, like, you know, I whipped out the camera because I'm like, okay, well, I realized that at some point I've got to profit off of the fact my zip is undone. I've got to profit off of the fact that I am a bit crazy. I don't know, for years I have had people telling me, yeah, you give influence. So like you give like you could have a YouTube channel or something. Oh, you don't? And I've just like shrugged that off because I'm not gonna lie, I get a lot of compliments. I get a lot of compliments about random things, and I think it's just because I'm a bit weird. Like you know how if you're too good at something, the world has to like balance you. My handicap is that there are some things I'm stupid at. Like, girl, like, okay, so I have ADHD, so I don't pay attention to a lot of things. But like, if you ask me, like recently, who is it? What was his name? There's a wait. Um, 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 where is she? Where is she? Where is she? Where is the chat? It's gonna. It's gonna. I just don't think I'm looking properly. It shouldn't be this hard. It should just be here. It's not. I used it literally with this week. I have friends. Oh, there it is. I just wasn't paying attention. Oh yeah, so what day was this? Okay, so Saturday. So on Saturday, I found out who Kurt Cobain was. Yeah, like take a moment. I don't know who Kurt Cobain, or I didn't know who Kurt Cobain was. I've heard his name, but like you can say any celebrity's name, and I'll be like, I don't know them. I barely know Nirvana. I barely listened to the Beatles. I can't even remember if I've watched Mamma Mia. I don't listen to Beyonce. I kind of live under a rock. But you know what comes with that? Some really, really, really good random skills. Like, making fun of myself? Is that what was I really gonna say internet personality? I've got more than that. But like, anyway, I haven't even done an introduction. Do I do an introduction? What's more natural? I don't even know what to talk about. Oh my gosh, getting hazukashi. No. So today I saw this is like the third time. So I'm in Japan actually. Oh my gosh, yeah, I'm in Japan. So this is the third time that I've had well, third time yesterday. This is the third time I've had someone tell me that I'm basically like this guy. What's his name? え、年の終わりです。チャンネル。年の終わり which translating means the end of the city. No clue how to translate that, but 年の終わり. Like, 3回も I've been told like that I'm basically taught like him, or that I give him. And you know what? I'm not gonna take the offense that I could to that because but also it's okay. But if I'm gonna make money, like fuck doing, I don't know, working in a bar or something. Like clearly I've got something. I've got I've got a pizzazz. I've got a zest. So yeah, so this is the time I've been told that I look like this guy. Not look like this guy, because this guy is Japanese. He's white. Japanese white isn't. I'm not gonna explain that to you. But I've been told 3 times that I'm like him. I think it's just because like sometimes I get a bit hypervigilant. Not hypervigilant. I am hypervigilant, but I mean I get a bit like too much energy. And girl, I got so bored. Girl, I got so bored. Look what I'm doing. N1. Okay. You know what? This is actually gonna be the story. This is gonna be the story of how I got to Japan. It's gonna be the story of why am I here? Why am I here? Why am I here? I just want to say 気まぐれ. Like, ただの気まぐれだったけど, like, sorry, I should be speaking in English. I should be speaking in English. I'm not even gonna try speaking Japanese because I know I'm gonna fuck it up. Even though anyone that I've been sayingけど, I'm probably gonna fuck up if I try speaking in Japanese. Maybe next video. But cute angle? Cute angle doko? I am the cute angle, sorry. This is kind of slay. I mean, it's a bit white there, like... She kind of cute there. She's kind of cute there. I mean, you can see the background, and the background isn't even giving. Like, okay, so like quick introduction to the part of my room that you can see. Let's ignore the mess down there. Let's just ignore that. And up here, so one day later, we're gonna find out that I'm autistic. And this might have been a sign, but for some reason, I'm really enjoying collecting all the bottles that I've used. Basically, in Japan, you have to. They're now. I don't know if this is I don't know how they recycle past like the people doing it. Like I don't know. So basically, they're crazy about recycling. They're super crazy about recycling. If you don't recycle properly, you get a fine. If you go to Japan as a foreigner and you stay somewhere, they're probably gonna give you like a little like a form or like an information shit or like so they're gonna tell you that like basically you don't recycle, you don't put your bottles separately. Damn it, you're done for. Damn means you're done for right now. If you don't put burnables separate from non-burnable, damn it, you're done for. Another thing is like as a foreigner, like because I'm English, 이기리시잖아요. Sorry, 이기리시진다요네. As a foreigner, I'm like, there is no way that this shit is burnable. There is no way that like this shit is burnable. There is no way that this like plastic is burnable. And you know what? I'm a break the facade. That's not a saying. Shine a light. Whoa, I'm losing my English skills. I'm gonna break the facade. That's what we're doing. I'm breaking the facade. Kind of like that did nothing. But I'm gonna break the facade. So I've spoken to some Japanese people. I've spoken to lots of Japanese people. I'm in fucking Japan, but I've spoken to a lot of Japanese people, and you know what? I haven't found a fucking consensus over what they do with their garbage. Like, they'll see this is plastic, and they'll be like, you can burn this, and they like, no, you can't burn this. And then, are you stupid? This is plastic. Are you stupid? You can't burn this. And I'll be like, but like the other Japanese person, Japan's not a monolith. Except, hot take, out of all countries that could be monolithic, Japan's kind of giving quite hegemonic. But anyway, that's another story. Burnables in Japan. Why am I on burnables in Japan? Because I'm on fire. Sorry. Yeah, they can't get it straight. I'm gonna close that chapter because actually I didn't even want to talk about these bottles, but like, yeah. Pre the bottles, I think this is like practically like literally 90% of the bottles that I've used whilst being here. 3ヶ月だけでね. But yeah, why am I in Japan? Wow. Yeah, I don't know. I do not know why I'm in Japan. I want a higher angle. Yeah. It's smart. She's cute. Yeah. Okay. Oh. Did this help? No, it didn't. Oh. Oh, wait. Pa. Oh, you can't lift her. God, that's kind of neat. No, come back. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mistreat you. I'm sorry. You know what? We're working with what we got, okay? Be proud of me for getting this lighting, okay? Does this look dramatic? Yes, it does look dramatic, but there's drama going on here. So anyway, back to the story. The important story. Why am I in Japan? So essentially, do I go all the way from the start? I'm gonna treat you to the very start of why I came in Japan. So essentially, I don't know where you're watching this from. Yes, that is sesame seed salad sauce. Whoa, guys, I'm not using English enough. Salad dressing, because we dress the salad. We put it in nice clothes. We dress the salad. Salad dressing. Anyway, I'm gonna give you the good old story. I'm gonna give you the story all the way from the beginning. So in England, I don't know where you're watching from. I don't know who you are, but in the English education system, in our mandatory education, like, you know, the school that you have to do, that period of school, which changes depending on the country, maybe. Basically, during the period of school that you have to do, you get to choose your subjects at some point. We have this area called like GCSEs, which is like, I don't know, like maybe 15 or something. Are you 15? No, it's before 15. It's got people. No, it might be 15. It's like 15, 14, 13, maybe at that level. That age. Get out of the way. Thank you. But around that period of time, basically, you get to choose some subjects. You have like the essentials like maths, English, religious education, anyway, and whatnot. And then after that, you have like, depending on your situation, 2, 3, maybe even 4 like slots, options to choose. One of my options was Spanish. Before, I'm not good at telling stories in order. I'm gonna just tell you now. But before that, you normally, if it's accessible, like they have the teachers, you have to do a language. So normally it's French or Spanish, because those are the ones they have the teachers for. Sometimes it's German. My school offered German, French, and Spanish. I chose Spanish. I did Spanish. I enjoyed it. I had one teacher that I loved, and then she went away, and I had teachers that were just like meh. But I stuck with Spanish. I liked it for GCSE. I did it in A-level as well. I chose it again. But before I did A-level, again, we're not sticking to order. My brain's not in order. Before we did A-level, which is just before university. So just before university, you have this thing called A-level, which is basically you choose everything that you do. Because at this point, if you're in England, you should know what you want to do for the entirety of your career at like age 16, you know? And if you make a mistake, well, then you have to go uni with those A-levels. So like, if you decide you want to become a scientist at like 17 and you decided to do philosophy, history, and I don't know, what's another subject? Art. You're not becoming a scientist, or you're resitting your years. Sorry to break it. Anyway, so, yeah. So around A-level time, I was like, I enjoyed Spanish. I enjoyed teaching myself. And I was like, okay, cool. I want to learn the language. I realized that I want to learn the language. I want to challenge myself. I want to see, like, you know, the parts of this that actually interested me wasn't necessarily even using the language. It's more so the language as a concept. Like I became a linguist. I studied linguistics in university. So this was like the first little inkling of like, this is something I might want to do. And so I was like, I want to study a language. And I thought, okay, well, it can't just be another European language. I want it to be something that is going to be difficult. I want it to be a challenge because apparently I like challenging myself. And so I did a bunch of research. I looked into languages that would either take the longest to learn, or because they're the most different linguistically from English. And I arrived at like kind of a handful, like Arabic, Chinese, Japanese. Yeah, that was a list. And some of them were like no-goes because like I could get killed in that country because of reasons. Or I just very, 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 very much get ostracized in that country because of reasons. Yet I chose Japan. There's another story. Yeah, like so you know, I'm not learning Arabic anytime soon because I'm queer and bi, and you know, I don't know who I'll end up with, so just playing it safe there. Anyway, so I chose Japanese and I decided to start learning it. COVID hit like a truck during my A-levels, and everyone got depressed, everyone got a bit sad, everyone stayed inside because our country doesn't trust us. Respectfully, I see why they don't trust us. I mean, like, look at, I'm not even gonna like cancel myself on my first video, so I'm not gonna name any names. But like, if you go to other countries in the COVID era, like Japan, they did not have like, what's it called? Quarantines where you can't go outside. Quarantines. They didn't have that because they didn't have lockdowns because, this is a generalization, but Japan relatively has this notion of do you need deal with your shit like by yourself, you freely, it's your business to keep your business. Don't be Mayweathering anyone, like don't be a bother to anyone. Try and reduce the like a bothering footprint. Try and reduce the negative effects you can cause to your environment and to the people around you. You should be sorry that you were born sometimes. Sorry, that was a bit of an opinion piece, but no, like Japan politics, the way Japanese politics works relatively around, you know, like COVID is there's a lot more freedom simply because to, you know, one way of putting it is the government could trust that people would do stuff for their surroundings. They would do stuff or not do stuff. They would restrict themselves for the harmony of everyone else, which is a kind of idea that permeates through a lot of Japanese culture, like both right now and historically. But I'm not a historian. I'm a face on a screen. Go find a historian. Anyway, so I decided to learn Japanese. They didn't offer it in my school for A-level, so they only offered it as like the exams. Like they had connections with an exam board, they could get the exams and you can learn it. But because it was COVID, I had to get someone to help me make an exam because during my A-level period, essentially the exams were changed. So for some people, exams didn't exist. For some people, exams were adjusted to reflect the fact that, what is he saying? Oh, okay, cool. Were reflected to reflect the fact that, you know, it's COVID. And so I reached out to the local Japanese school, who I had a great relationship with. Oh my gosh, thanks to them. I love them. But yeah, so a teacher, she gave me some lessons. Although I mostly self-studied. Like I do say that I've self-studied because literally everything I've done is self-studying. Yeah, but she did give me some lessons, and also a lot of like cultural exchange. Oh my gosh, yeah, my heart goes out to you. What's she doing now? I think she's cooking. She's cooking. Anyway, so this is becoming a long video. You know what? I actually don't care. But anyway, so so I did that. So I became Japanese. I didn't mean to say that. I wanted to say that. No. So I started learning Japanese. I started actually, and I'll go more in depth if it interests anybody into like how to learn Japanese, because again, like I'm a linguist, and so I thought a lot about it even now, like how would I do it again? But I started in the most weirdest way, wow, I'm really using my fucking English. The weirdest way, which is essentially learning all the Joyo kanji. Not even their like readings, just their meanings. Which is essentially like, let me get a book. Okay, so you see this book. Oh God. You see this book. This is Soso no Frieren. And you see like all these little like characters. You know how it looks like, you know, to the untrained eye, it looks like either Japanese or Chinese, or to a really, really, really untrained eye, maybe you think it's Korean. Go look up Hangul. Although they did use like Chinese characters one day, so you're not completely wrong. Basically, I learned how to look at those images. We can call them images in a sense, because they're not alphabetic. It's not like A, B, you look at A and it's like, what sound does A make? And it's like A. It's like the first thing that comes to mind when you look at these characters is the meaning as well as a sound. But the sound is dependent on the context, and so that's complicated. I'm not going to go in it. So essentially, I decided to teach myself like the meanings, like what does this mean in English? So now it's gotten to the point where, and this is where I impress the Japanese people, I'm like in a conversation and I'm like, sorry, what word is that? Is that like, I don't know. This is really difficult. Think of a word. Is that like, Okay. I'm looking at one right now. So like Dante. If I didn't know what Dante was, I'd be like, oh, is that Handan no Han? Is that the Dan of Handan? And is that like the Te of like the fuck? Like Teki? Which is like not a normal thing to do, because that's not how Japanese people learn the language, and that's not how foreigners learn the language. But I was depressed and crazy in COVID. So anyway, I learned Japanese in a really weird way. I started learning Japanese in a really weird way, and I continued teaching myself. And I did the A level. And, you know, that was kind of that, to be honest. It was like, oh, okay, cool. I proved that was the first thing that I did of my own volition, outside, like, that was education, like, was teaching myself, was giving myself a new skill that I mastered to a degree. You know, I passed. I got an A star. Woo, 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 woo. And, you know, it helped me get into my university. And so that was a big moment for me, and it's definitely influenced a lot of, like, how I think and how I feel and how I know that I can do things. But then, so I went to a... Sorry, I needed to burp. So I went to a, what's it called? So I went to Cambridge. Yeah, let's get that out of the bag. If you've seen another video of me, where I nearly missed my application, like I fully like, oh, it was a mess. Go, I'm messy. I got into Cambridge. But the way that my university works essentially is there's colleges. So the university is like the big thing, and then underneath that you have lots of little colleges. And so I went to a specific college that has, as far as I'm concerned, it's one of the only colleges that has like long-standing Japanese relations. There are like, I know of another college that has long-standing, or has Japanese relations. But the reason it is because of an alumni from that college who then helped another college to have Japanese relations. So I was like, but I chose that college on a whim. I actually, when thinking about which colleges to go to, I was asking my friend, well, no, I was just asking around. But when I say asking around, I asked one person, and then he said, oh yeah, I think Pembroke, because my mum says the gardens are nice. And that's how I decided. I didn't ask a single other person. I'm too lazy for that. And so I chose Pembroke. I found out, oh my gosh, they have Japanese relations. Well, like, you know, I have experience teaching Japanese. I've experienced teaching English. I've experienced learning Japanese. I'm a linguist. Any opportunity to do Japan is like, it's got to be me. And so I applied to an internship that my college offered. to work at like Seikei Daigaku, which is in Kichijoji. Kichijoji, by the way, is like ranked the like most happiest place, like based on the metric of like people wanting to live there. I think that's the metric that it's based off of. But I worked in Kichijoji for an internship for a month. That was fun. Although it was just teaching English, so I didn't really have many opportunities to really use Japanese, other than kind of just going out and about. But like, I'm not really that much of a house leaver, as you can see currently in my bedroom, looking like a fucking rat. Sorry, you don't look like a rat. You're pretty. Thank you. But yeah, so loading. So I did that. And that was kind of that, you know, I had no other reason to like learn Japanese. I wasn't practicing Japanese at all. I wasn't like learning anything. And I didn't really like have any connections. Yes, I met some amazing people whilst here, but like there wasn't anything going on. And then like pull up, you know, 2 more years of torture in my university, because another story, but I hated my university experience. And there's another opportunity for graduates to basically go abroad and do a 3-month intense course in Nichidaigaku, which is Nihon University. And I'm saying vibe, it's like, well, if it's not me that's doing that, then who is? Like, no offense, like, this is exactly where my this is exactly where my pride comes out, because it's like, well, has worked in Japan, interested in education, studies Japanese, possibly has a like Japanese relationship based career, all these things. And it's like, well, if I applied and didn't get it, this is the way that I talk to myself. This isn't the way I talk to other people, okay? Because I can be humble. I know humility. But when I'm talking to myself, girl, I don't know humility. Anyway, because I'm like, if I don't apply, then I'm robbing myself of that opportunity. But also, if I do apply and I don't get it, then that's just not gonna happen. If I apply, I'm gonna get it. Because I feel like I believed myself to be a suitable candidate, and I proved myself to be. Thank you. But yeah, and so that's literally why I'm in Japan. Like, I guess I like anime. Like, oh, I do love Soso no Free. Soso no Free 大好きだよね. Oh my gosh, I love this anime. This is the manga. Manga abroad, like manga as a foreigner, like in your own country, is so expensive. But this is like, I don't know, like maybe like max 100? 800じゃないか? どこ? It's probably like maximum with the more recent ones, like 800 yen. But the first ones are like, what, 300 yen? Which if I translate that into, just as a baseline, like 1,000 yen is normally around £5. So 500 yen is around £2.50. So 300 yen is around like £1.80 or something. £1.80 for a manga? Mate, that's how much I pay to get into a train station. That's how much I pay for like, this. Okay, maybe that's an exaggeration, but nothing in the UK is £1.80. Like, heck, Poundland isn't even a pound anymore. Like, but yeah, so I like free run anime. I'm not a massive anime fan. Like, honestly, I do watch anime, of course. I mean, I speak Japanese. It's great Japanese practice. But I'm literally not a weeb at all. I could try better, I feel, but I kind of just don't care unless the anime is really good. I think I like cartoons, but I don't really know why I'm here. Like, it's cheap. I mean, like, because the yen isn't doing great, sorry. Relatively to the pound, as in like my conversion rate's better. The conversion rate's better from pounds to yen, but also the cost of living here is just a lot lower. Like, it's, for example, in the UK, even though, you know, I'm literally earning more, as in that my pound is worth more than the yen, the cost of living is the discrepancy between wages and the cost of living in the UK is disgusting, which basically means that, you know, no matter how much you earn in the UK, if it's a reasonable amount, well, an unreasonable amount as a reasonable, like, national living wage is terrible. But if you're earning like a regular wage in the UK, then the cost of living is going to eat up a lot of your money. But essentially in Japan, you could be earning less than someone would be earning in the UK with, you know, converting. But even then, the amount that you spend on things to do with like living expenses is a lot lower. And so kind of it's good both ways living here. What else do I like about it? I think like Japan has, of course, you know, it's very aestheticized, like in terms of its visual image internationally. I think one of the, you know, if I think about my country, if I think about the UK, we have power and legacy and colonialism. We have power, legacy, colonialism, influence, written history that extends, that also has power, legacy, and colonialism. And so, as a country, we are on a pedestal to a degree. I don't think there's much of a, like a, you know, if we think about the fetishization of countries, how countries are admired from the foreigner's perspective, looking at my own country, it's not the food, but it's the fact that it's the big apple. Oh, it's the big world. It's where things are going on, and it's where you become an international person. There's so much to experience. Whereas on the flip side, looking at Japan, that was my conjecture, but like as someone looking towards Japan, a lot of the kind of the vibe here is the aesthetics. It's so historic because their culture froze after World War II. I'm not gonna get into that. But their culture kind of the Japanese culture is interesting, but like, you know, there's a lot of preservation of visual parts of tradition. Like go to Kyoto, for example, and you'll see a lot of like what people think as old Japan. Depending on where you go, there's a lot of nature. It's an incredibly convenient country in terms of the services that it provides to its civilians. Oh my gosh, I started shaving in Japan and whoa, I've not been irritated like nearly as much as I have in the UK. And I bought the cheapest razors. Like, talk about convenience. And so there's a lot to try. And of course, there's also like anime culture. There's also like a lot of like where it gets into, in my opinion, a lot of the weirder fetishization. Like, oh my gosh, I love idols to an insane degree. I think if you're a foreigner and you really, really engage with like cute idol made cafe culture, especially if you're a man, okay. And if you're a Nihonjin and you really like that culture, then you do you. Okay. Depending on who you are, maybe I give you a little side eye. But what am I saying? Yeah, I actually, to end this, I actually don't know why I'm in Japan. I think I'm happy to be here. I'm proud I'm here. I worked hard to be here. I've made a lot of friends. I've understood a new culture. I've, you know, done some crazy shit to my fucking brain by learning another language and another country's cultural norms. And it will be a good opportunity in my future as well. And I do plan on visiting again, maybe even working again. Who knows? But it feels like complete luck. Like, I could have learned Chinese and I could have been in China. I could have learned Indian and I could be in India. I don't feel like there was something really specific that was attracting me to Japan. And even though I'm here now and I'm appreciating what's here and what I have access to, there isn't anything that has me hooked. And everyone around me, like the yugaks, the exchange students, the foreigners that I meet in Japan, there's always something, like a little core bit to their story that's like, this is why I'm staying here. This is why I love it. This is what I'm collecting. And honestly, I don't think I have that. But I do love here. And I'm surprised to miss my own country. Oh my gosh. And cigarette culture. God. I'm not, it's bad to promote cigarettes. So I'm going to say the cigarette culture here. You know what? I take it back. I found why I'm in Japan. These beautiful.